My name is Sarah Ershad. I am the chair and founder of a charity called Mums United. We tackle youth violence and child drug exploitation, and the work that we've done today is funded by the National Community Fund, and it's about root causes. Why do young people turn to youth violence? The Root Causes project is looking at the social ecological model of youth violence. So what we did is we have taken 3 cohorts of mums, young people, which include the boys and the girls, and we worked on them on workshops looking at the reasons why the individuals turn to youth violence, what are the expectations of a young person, and we looked at interviewing and doing workshops, and we wanted to see how their perspectives were either similar or different so that we can learn from each other.
Come on then, take a seat. Here's my 5 lovely volunteers. The stuff that I watch on YouTube is probably not the same as the stuff that you watch on YouTube. So I've been asked to make a YouTube video. Have you been on internet? YouTube, yeah. YouTube is what I'm talking about. Right, so you've been on YouTube and you've been on TikTok. So the stuff that I watch on YouTube is probably not the same as the stuff that you watch on YouTube. Now, what Mummies United are doing, because I'm like a young guy, but not as young as you guys, I would like for you guys to tell me exactly what your type of video is like. So, how are we going to make our video? We could make TikTok. So the work that we've done, okay, with this project here, the socio-economic effects of behaviour. I'm aware that I need you guys to make the video look proper. So, what do we need? Is it important to have clout to be a somebody?
No. Because if you don't want, you don't need to be.
Who is responsible for their behaviour?
Me.
Which children are more at risk from gangs?
Kids from like late primary school, like year 6 to early secondary.
Can you tell me, what is a role model?
A role model is someone who's really good.
Would you give me an example of something that can make a young person turn to a gang?
To make more friends.
Yes.
That's too hard. Okay.
How much responsibility do parents have
A
over
lot.
your behaviour?
A lot. Because they feed you and they pay clothes for you and they look after you. They have a lot of responsibility because they wake up every morning to take you to school.
And I feel like it's not just parents, it's like who you're associated with in school, with your friends. So your parents have a part in it, but also your friends, like who you grew up with, and your neighbours, and how you just brought up together and that.
Can you tell me, what is a role model?
Someone who you follow after.
You look up to.
Someone that is really good.
A role model is someone that you look up to, who you aspire to be, and that help you in situations.
Can anybody be a role model?
Yeah, it can be from social media, from parents, siblings, school, anywhere.
Excellent. Can you be a role model?
Yeah, it could be for the younger generation.
You choose to do. They need to do their own, not yours.
They set examples for you, but you have to do it
Who is model
yourself.
has video?
That's right, their behaviour.
A big
To like social media and let you like. I want you to watch it every day basically, and you don't want to get off it.
Yeah. Could be addictive. It depends what you watch with.
Probably TikTok, TikTok.
Because if you're watching all positive stuff, then you're perhaps less likely to. Right. So if you're watching bad stuff that just triggers you and you're not supposed to be watching, there's a chance that maybe it might influence you a little bit.
And make you be one.
That's right. So what we've got to do is we've got to get positive influences, haven't we? Like proper good influencers.
Good videos.
What influencers do you watch?
She watches the cartoons. She was like, yeah.
Yes. So the the TikTokers and the YouTubers that you watch, are they wholesome? Are they good?
No. Some are not good. Like, it depends. Some might be, but some might not. Because it depends on what do they do. What that are bad. Like, it depends that if someone's in a gang and you're watching them and you feel like you want to be one, and you should then, if you watch something different than that, and you want to be the opposite thing than the gang because you keep watching the social media. All you want to do is like you stay in the corner, or then you make friends to be gangs. Then you start doing drugs and vaping, smoking, all that.
But if you're little, it's not a really bad thing because you don't really know, because like no one would talk about it, so you think, I think this is good.
I think
Is it appropriate?
I think younger people are more attracted to do it.
They might not. They might not know if it's bad or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Because
Whose job is it to?
Parents.
parents.
And the school as well. Bring up these issues. 'Cause it's normalised in a way.
Because like different schools, they let people vape sometimes. People actually do it and they always mess about and they don't really listen to the teachers. And the teacher's not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
All they're doing is they give them detention, and that's the only thing you can do about it. But it's really bad for your health. That's why they don't do it basically. You have to do something, make it upgrade of it.
What child is more at risk from gang culture?
Children that are on social media from like the years of year 6 to early secondary school.
Why?
Because they're very vulnerable to it, and gang members can easily exploit them into doing things, and they may think it's a one-off thing, but it happens over and over again, and then it's hard to get out of it because they could be seen as someone that's not brave and they're weak, and they could get peer pressure to doing things as well, and I don't think they want to be seen into it.
And a bad influence as well.
A bad influence as well around the younger generation and older as well, because it's all normalised as well. It's getting normalised.
What are the root causes of youth violence? Or why are you being naughty?
They can be naughty if they're doing something wrong and they're not doing something right.
I think the root causes of youth violence it starts at a young age, and it could be associated with their friends and their neighbours or cousins, etc. Whilst it can start from like listening to film music, or just hang around with your friends at the park, and then someone can just come up to you and be like, "Can you do this one job?" And then let's say you've accepted it and you've done it, they can exploit you by telling you if you don't do it, then I've got proof of you doing it. So they're stuck into it and they can't get out of it. So it's like a way of exploiting them. And I think some people might want to get out of it, but they just can't, because they don't know what could happen to them or their family. And it affects everybody because it's getting normalised, so people think it's okay for other people to do it, especially for the younger generation, because I feel like they're scared of the older generation, what they say.
Are young people growing up too fast?
I think they do if we compare with ourselves when we were kids. And actually now we have those terms, teenagers, young people, but around 1944 there was no term teenager. It was only a child and at certain age, child start helping parents with work in their farm or other places and move to adult's life, even if they were attending school, not attending school that time. But nowadays we have teenagers, young people with no even plans to go to work, and then not really plans for the future. They really don't know what to do when they finish school. They struggle to choose subjects for GCSEs. They really is big question mark for them where to move next after completing compulsory education.
Yes, I think children are growing too fast. Many years ago, there used to be always like one set of parents at home to give time to their children. And now, because of the kind of world we're living in, both parents go to work. So the children have to grow up alone at home or in clubs or, like nurseries. And so the parents aren't giving them that time, to give their own influence. So they're getting it from the social environment. And it's not always positive because each child's different. So they have their own vulnerabilities and needs. And the way a parent or a loved one can see that a stranger that's just looking after them is getting paid work, low income, they don't always want to do that job, and they're like play workers, they're just doing it for the money, and they can't give that time to the 25-30 children that are in that class. So they are neglected through the family situation and through the social situation that is set up through the council and schools.
I think young people are growing up too fast. I agree to some extent what Nasi is saying, but I think that if you've grown up in a household where both parents work, as I did, it's about what the young people are seeing and what they are hearing. When we were growing up, social media wasn't even a thing. Newspapers, and we got our information from the newspapers or TV. That's all there was really. Now everything the young people can see is at their fingertips, the phone, the tablets, and so they are being influenced by that, and there's not enough restrictions in place for young people. The parents can do only so much, but I feel like the volume of information the young people are receiving at a young age is too grown up for them. And you've got over-sexualization in social media. If they want to get in contact with the gangs, they can do. So to me, the world has changed around us in the past 20 years, and I think that the young people are just having access to things way too much quickly.
So I also agree with what just been said. So just looking from the outside, I feel like how a child used to be before, maybe 15 years ago to now, is completely different. So a child used to be, they're going outside playing football, playing with their friends, they're going to the park. But now, as you see, child, it's all about social media. They don't want to go outside and have fun no more. They'd rather sit at home, play on the PlayStations, watch YouTube videos. Now that TikTok has come, and with the question, yes, I do agree they're growing too fast, and one of the reasons for that is they're hearing and seeing stuff that they don't need to till a later date. So they've got that what's been said before is they're seeing stuff that they shouldn't be seeing, and they're hearing stuff that they shouldn't. A child is he or she that goes out, plays instead of and also I know there's certain subjects are being taught in school where they don't need to be taught. So for the child, a child should make mistakes. Now it's come to a time when a child makes a mistake, he's punished for that. And for a child, the whole point of a child is he can make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. But now we're seeing a child can't be a child no more. If he does, he's punished in certain ways for that. So I feel like they are basically being they're growing up a bit too fast. Yeah.
Yep, I also agree. Definitely with the expectations and competition that we have in society has made children sort of have to grow up quicker. Again, there's that healthy competition between themselves with their peers, but then the expectation that if you don't do well, then you will be the odd one out. So I think the society norms has changed in comparison to in the 90s, etc. So I think for that reason, children are stigmatized that you can't make mistakes, as mentioned before, and you need to, you're expected to gain GCSEs and do well, and so that sort of competition with their peers and their sort of siblings. So yeah, I think the society has sort of indirectly or directly compelling children not to make mistakes and flourish.
Could you tell me which of our young people are more at risk of gang culture?
I think every child is vulnerable to the gang culture. We shouldn't underestimate the power and influence of gangs.
People from the BAME community are probably, I'll say, more at risk, because I personally believe that they have less opportunities compared to everybody else. So if you look at the education system, if you look at the people of minority compared to the rest of everyone, they have lack education. Even when we look at poverty, and even if you look at the justice system, so a lot of stop and searches are done to the minorities. Higher sentences are given to the minorities, and I think because of this they lose hope in the system and the government, and this pushes them towards more of a gang culture. They feel like, I don't fit in this place. They're labeling me to be a bad person of a gang. Why don't I be like this in the first place? And even certain areas, it also pushes them to be in gang cultures as well, because they're in poverty. And in the media, if you keep seeing these certain people in this area are bad, these people are going to lose hope and say, you know what, I was good all this time, but I'll be bad because everybody says I'm bad. So psychologically, mentally, it plays with the head, and this pushes them towards the gang culture.
I will fully agree with you that sometimes you will move to certain area with your family. You don't know the area, and children, they build links with, they make new friendships, and parents are not aware fully who their neighbors are, and children, they start to build close relationships and go together to secondary school. They start to believe that there are other ways of making money, and they think it's quite good idea to go to do drugs or other things, and sometimes they consider themselves lucky that they found this way, and this way will give them money to buy things which they wish to have.
I think a child that is kind of immature maybe, or just like growing up, but is like impressionable, and it can be like where maybe at school, for example, it doesn't matter what kind of school it is, but depending on what kind of crowd of people that are around them, or anywhere where they're hanging about, if they have a strong influence and that child wants to impress the group, then they're more likely to fall for that trap, because that's where parents aren't there to protect them and guide them. And so if they've got the wrong friends, then these people can, I think, influence them negatively.
I think it's very important to acknowledge that all children are vulnerable and can be impacted in different ways. But more importantly, I want to sort of reflect on children that face ACEs, so adverse childhood experiences. Statistically, we know that these children that have been exposed from a very young sort of age with sort of gang crime, with limited financial stability, tend to look for alternatives in their life, so to make money, because they know that maybe a single parent of theirs can't provide or isn't giving them the sort of good shoes and clothes like their sort of parents, their friends' parents are giving them. They've gone for alternative sort of means. So I think that sort of nurturing that relationship with parents and the wider community is sort of paramount importance, and to tackle such sort of problems in society, ACEs or children that face adverse childhood sort of experience should be given extra attention, whether in sort of society or in schools, etc.
So, what are the solutions?
I will say to work closely on children identity and self-esteem.
Have more safeguarding officers in schools where children are most of the days.
Creating safe places in communities.
Also, I think with those examples, local government intervention where money is invested in schools to sort of train role models for children to look up to and sort of bring a change, positive change in their lives.
So I believe we need a increase of youth clubs and youth mentors. So there's been obviously a lot of cutting in funds. So what I believe is the more increase you have youth clubs and youth mentors is, for what I've seen, is a lot of people from the youth, they don't trust the police and stuff. So when they've got youth clubs and youth mentors that they can work with, they open up more with these people. So I feel like the more you have youth clubs and youth mentors, there's more sport for the children in the streets.
Well, I'm aware that there's lots more solutions. Do we think it's important to have clout to be a somebody?
I think it is very important for youngsters nowadays to be recognized by others at school, on the street. So they put a lot of attention on their look and how they present themselves on social media or what they update on social media.
I do believe that if you look at in terms of helping other people, I think because of social media, a lot of these young people will only want to learn and look at somebody who has a lot of clout and fame. So if you've got a lot of experience but you're not famous, they wouldn't look up to you as much. So in today's day, if you look at in words of helping or being a mentor towards somebody, having clout is important because the young people will look up to you, and then that way they'll give you some attention. Then you can teach them quite a lot of things because they're looking up to you and they're taking you serious.
Social influencers do have a lot of impact on young children, but it can have positive and negative effects on children, which we hear about in media all the time.
Really important, I think. The whole concept is important, but we have in sociology this self-fulfilling prophecy. How we look at the child has a big impact on them. So it's very easy to sort of label a child in a particular way, but you need the child to have, when they look at the person in front of them that's talking to them, they should relate to them. So if it's a similar background or something similar sort of views, they will appreciate anything coming from them more, irrespective of someone who's not gone through the same sort of path or life sort of experiences as them.
I think that for young people, it is important to them to be someone. It forms part of their identity. It forms part of their social circles, and I do feel like that is influenced by the social media. So yeah, I think they do find great importance of being recognised as somebody in their group, and that influences their decisions.
Responsibility do parents have for the behaviour of their young people?
I believe the parents have quite a lot of responsibility, especially when the child is maybe 2 years old all the way to the adult life, because say for instance, if the parents have not been giving sport to the young child since he was young, as he gets older, the connection between the parents and the child is not going to be there. So if the child is going through some calamity, he'll feel like, I can't talk to my parents because they never gave me sport and love when I was younger. So he'll go to gang cultures, over gangs, and he'll be going to other role models instead of the parents. And also if the child, even if the child is older and the child comes home late, if the parents doesn't question him, where have you been, and leaves him to it, is busy working, the child is going to carry on getting into trouble and into wrong things, and then this I will have basically they're probably going to a wrong path.
Parents, they have more responsibility actually than they think, and sometimes they believe that first teacher for children is a school, but this is not true, it's them. And nowadays I think they're more overwhelmed with work and other issues, and they don't spend enough time with their children.
I believe parents have responsibility for their children from the day they're born, because and they should look after their welfare. If they need help, they should go through social services and GPs, but otherwise it's their responsibility to look after. It doesn't matter how many children they've got. Each child that they've got, they should provide the same love, affection and care. And if they need help, they need to ask for it, not pretend and brush everything under the carpet.
I think that some parents don't have the ability to do that. I think that some parents are vulnerable and they don't know where to go, and often social services aren't very forthcoming in terms of are not sensitive to a parent's needs. So it is difficult for parents, and I do agree that a parent's responsibility on a child is from the day that they're born, but how much of an influence that parent has on a child, that's the question that needs to be had, because you can be from the most nurturing of homes, but when your child walks out the front door, the influences that young person has, the parent has no control over, and unfortunately that is the way sometimes.
Parents certainly make up families, and families play sort of an integral part in societies. So there's no doubt parents, when it comes to nurturing their children, play a sort of most important role. However, it is absolutely so understandable if a parent puts their hand up and says that I am struggling. Of course, parenting is a great skill to have, and there will be times where parents may struggle to tackle with the particular problem, whether it's gang violence or their children going into gangs or bad sort of communities. So I think it's important for schools and the government and other sort of parts of society to help them basically, and sort of direct them where they can sort of get help, whether it's community centres, etc.
Today we're talking about the socio-economical model of youth violence. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and I want your honest opinion. Do you think young people are growing up too fast? What do you think?
Yes, because I'm already 9.
That's a good answer. Yes, because I'm already 9. Are young people growing up too fast?
Yeah, because they got more access to social media and there's more access to like the world around them.
Do you think young people are growing up too fast?
Yes, because like on all over social media, like kids, like if you look at a kid who's rich and stuff, like you want to be like them, and like the days go past. If you're on your phone, like your lives and hours go quicker and quicker, so you can't realise like the time goes quick, and you realise you've gone old.
I feel bad for Nige, he only has 0.0% of his life.
Can we just ban it? Just kick him out. Are young people growing up too fast?
Yes, because they get phones at a young age and they're all over social media.
Are young people growing up too fast?
Yeah, because they spend their time like, on the streets and stuff, and then when they're older, they don't realise that what they've done to themselves.
Which young people are more at risk from gang culture?
Like you know, when you're secondary school, that start, you get friends, and you start like carrying knives and stuff. And like, peer pressure you to join their gang, so they like, make you do bad stuff, and like dealing with drugs, gangs, and fighting, and basically a gang war around the area. And that's it.
Thank you. Which of the young people are more at risk from gang culture?
Young people.
Oh.
It's because they might see their cousins or their friends something they'll be doing vaping, smoking and that, and they'll probably join it with them.
Which child is more at risk of gang culture?
Like people like in like their teens, because that's when like they like get into gangs and like their friends like act all hard and they join them and they want to act hard.
Which young people are more at risk of becoming involved in gangs?
All of them. Because let's say, right, you're a kid, and you're like, oh my god, I want a Lamborghini. And then you see like some man with like a big nice car, and you're like, oh my god, that's my favorite. So then you're
I'm asking you, which child is more at risk of gang culture?
Teenagers, because they might get interested in that stuff.
Which young people are most at risk of gang culture?
Kids distant from family and ones that involve themselves with the wrong people, that get them to join gangs because they see it at school and skip school to join and get themselves involved in knife crime and gangs and stuff.
Can you tell me which young people are more at risk of gang culture?
I think teenagers that don't listen to their parents and stuff, because they'll end up like on the streets, and that's the probably only way they'll know to earn money, and they'll grow up knowing that's the only way for them, because they dropped out of school and stuff. Yeah.
How can we stop young people getting sucked into gangs?
Tell them how bad it is.
What are the solutions to help young people steer clear of gangs?
Education. Like send them to Mons United and get a better education.
Oh, you're the man. Solutions for young people to stop getting involved in gang culture.
They could like think about all the deaths that happen, like young people getting involved in knife crimes and then getting stabbed, because it's like a usual daily thing. And we should see it on the social media, because most kids have access to it nowadays, so we should see more of it.
Looking at the children at risk of gang culture, what are the solutions?
By thing called Mons United, and you can send them there. It tells you not to carry knives. It's hosted about Sarah and that. Then it makes you do a lot of activities which will improve your health and physical, mental well-being, and take it off the streets. And then you can listen to your parents. That if you listen to them, you might get somewhere in life. If you listen to your friends, you might not. And just end up in prison and just get laughed off.
What are the solutions to keep young people away from gang culture?
Should like teach them not to do it, and tell them about like all the deaths that have happened, and like where it will bring you in the future. Like you won't get anywhere. You're making money now, but in the future you're not gonna get a job or anything. Yeah.
What are the solutions to keep young people away from gang culture?
Give them stuff.
What stuff?
Any stuff.
Well,
Because
like
then if you give them stuff, they're going to be like, oh yeah, thank you. And then they're not going to do it.
material things, you mean?
No,
Clothes?
just anything.
Oh.
Because like if you give them toys, they're going to not look outside. Then if you give them nothing, then they're going to be outside like, oh my god, that man looks cool. So that's my answer.
Wow. Is it important to have followers to be somebody?
Yes. Because because then people might take advantage of you.
That is a smart answer. That's a smart answer. Because I asked him if having followers would make him a somebody. And from that answer, it's kind of like he is a somebody, regardless of whether anybody's following him or not. Is it important for you to have followers in order for you to be a somebody?
No, because if you have followers, like, people are going to hate you because they're like, oh, he has a lot of followers, so he's rich. Because, like, you can get verified. you get money off for it. So like, yeah, you're gonna get beat up and robbed.
Is it important to have followers in order for you to be a somebody?
No, because you don't have to be like other people. Be yourself and stick to what you want to do in your life. You don't have to look at everyone. And yeah, and if you're famous or something, they can target you. Like all the rappers and celebrities, like the house being robbed and killed, because like being famous and rich. It's not good to show off online. So that it's not good to have followers.
Is it important for you to have followers in order for you to be a somebody?
No, because people don't have to know about your life for you to be your own person.
Is it important to have followers in order for you to be a somebody?
No, because followers bring a lot of hate, and with a lot of followers, you'll get people hating you, and that'll bring you down.
Is a role model important? What do you think?
Yeah, because a role model can be your parents, because they might have like good businesses, you can take over them and take over their businesses and work harder and expand it.
Is a role model important?
Yeah, because if you have a role model, you know what you can look up to. If you're like depressed or something, it's like you look up to them and see like what they're doing and you get inspired by them.
Are role models important?
Yeah, because you need someone where you strive to be, like someone's position and a goal or an objective where you want to get in life.
Are role models important?
Yes, because you can get inspired by them.
Are role models important?
Yeah, it's important. So then, if you've done something that's wrong and you inspire to be like them, you can always go up to them and tell them what you've done wrong, and then they could give you advice what to do.
Are role models important?
Yeah, because like if you didn't have a role model, then you couldn't really do anything. Because some role models like give you motivation. So, yeah.
A role model, somebody that you look up to, maybe like a pop star or an internet star, or maybe somebody in your family. Are role models important?
Yes, because they can teach other people how to be role models.
Are young people growing up too fast?
Yes, I think they are growing up too fast.
What do you mean?
Technology's taken over. There's not a lot of interaction with human beings. They've not got anywhere to go. Lots of things to do. They're on social media a lot. There's a lot of peer pressure off social media to look, behave, act in a certain way. They have to have a lot of followers. Even in schools, they're kind of under peer pressure a lot, especially our kids, because of being black, Asian, minority, ethnic. They are still in the minority in this country, and there's a lot going on in this country which is political as well.
Thank you. Are young people growing up too fast?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, they do. With my experience having kids, them always watching on their phones, laptops. They don't interact with me a lot, and they make their own decision what they want to do, where they want to go out. I don't have a really say in it. So yes, I do, because they're more independent, and I can't like drag them to come along with me anywhere. They're not interested, but if I tell them to do anything, it's like their choice, their view, what they want.
Thank you. In your opinion, are young people growing up too fast?
Yeah. Because like more and more people are more insecure, and because it's like the social media makes people want to like change how they look and stuff, and yeah.
Thank you. In your opinion, are young people growing up too fast?
Yes, because there are more gangs going up and more knife crime going up, and too many people are ganging up and gang up on people.
young people growing up to first?
Yeah. Because they want to be like others, they get peer pressure to change themselves for others. Yeah.
Is it important to have clout to be a somebody?
No, not really, but some people think that they need like followers and stuff so that people like them, and yeah, and they don't feel.
Is it important to have clout to be a somebody?
Okay, the terminology clout to me means attention or love. So to me, I think youngsters nowadays maybe look for followers to get love. Maybe they're not getting love from home, or because at the end of the day there's a lot of families that are struggling to get teenagers especially engaged in family activities, for want of a better word, sit around the table, have dinner together. I mean, I had a lot of discipline when I was a child. I got a slap, you know, if I didn't sit down and eat my dinner or do as my mum and dad did. But nowadays you can't even do that with kids. I mean, the respect, I think, has gone out the window. But again, with the generations, if they've got a lot of followers, it's like TikTok. You know, if you've got a lot of likes, or so you're important. So I don't know if they get the youngsters think getting clout is important to them, having a lot of followers. But these followers are not real. They're just online, aren't they? So yeah, so I think it might be important to kids. But for me, I think there's nothing better than hugging or touching or saying I love you to your mum and dad.
Is it important to have clout to be a somebody?
I don't know about being important, but I did agree with Anna what she said. I don't know much about how kids, who they follow and what they follow, but with my children, I'm hoping they're just independent. They don't need to follow anybody, and they don't, as long as there's a good role model and they have something to achieve goals, that's good.
Yeah, because I think it influences your decisions that people make, because sometimes people want to be like a good person, so then they pick the decisions that they pick the choices that they want to do, and then they pick like good choices if they want to become a good person, and bad choices if they want to become a bad person.
Role model important.
Yeah, good role model is important because it gives someone a person to look up to, and if it's a good role model, the person wants to be good like the role model. If it's bad, they're gonna turn out bad.
Tell me, what is a role model?
A role model is that someone that younger people are older and you'll be looking forward that you'll be older. Like, for example, if you want to be a YouTuber and you're trying to be one and you copy what they do when they're older, then you might be when you're older.
Thank you. Could you tell me what is a role model and how important are they?
A role model, especially for youngsters, is someone that they follow, someone they look up to, and usually it's replicating the behaviours of others. So it's very important to have good role models, especially in this day and age where youngsters can easily be led into drugs, guns, knife crimes, and to have peer support is very important at schools, especially also for the younger boys, I think, because they are easily being led into drugs, selling drugs, standing on street corners. We need to get a lot of youth clubs and youth activities back out there, so they have got the mentors, they have got people doing sporting activities rather than just hanging about, walking about, causing nuisance on the streets. And because of austerity, I think there's been an increase in that, because the government have not invested in youth clubs, and I think we need to, and careers advisors.
Responsibility do parents have?
It's very difficult for me to answer that question because, to be fair, nowadays respect is out the window. So, and there's not a lot of respect for parents when you're growing up, because the parents are the bad people. They're the ones that give you discipline. They're the ones that give you boundaries. And a lot of children nowadays, because of social media and peer pressure from people outside, do push the boundaries. So, and for me, as a parent where it's gone horribly wrong, it's very difficult for me to say that I will take responsibility for where my child is, because I cannot take responsibility for where my child is. But I can say society needs to take responsibility for where my child is, because he is a child, he's my firstborn, and whatever life he chose at a young age, and he took it on his own inhibition to follow people, to make money, and to be fair, his life's gone now, and I don't want anybody else to follow that path. It's not a good path, and a lot of children are sucked into that, because it's a life that they don't understand the ramifications of. When you're there on the streets, if you're in a gang or you're not in a gang, you're trying to make money through drugs, please stop. Look at yourself, look at your mum, look at your dad, look at what you're doing.
How much responsibility do parents have?
They have a lot because they spend money on you and make you food and buy you clothes, because when you get older you go out your clothes, and then buy clothes to make sure you're okay. You go out alone.
Responsibility do parents have?
Parents have a lot of responsibility, but I feel like nowadays children, like, they don't listen, they're just on the phone all day, they go out when they want, they don't listen to their parents.
How much responsibility do parents have?
Parents have a lot of responsibility for their children, because obviously they look after their children since they're born. But then I feel like loads of kids, they like disrespect their parents because of like the company that they keep.
Is a male role model important?
Sometimes, because when you're quite young and she's doing all the cleaning and stuff, and your dad's doing the work, you can do that, and you can do both of them at the same time if you want. Like your dad's working all the time, you can do that, and your mum's always cleaning and helping you and doing more stuff for you, and you could do that for your kids in the future.
Do you think a male role model is important?
From my experience, I do think it's important because my dad has always been there for me from day one till now, even though I'm married. You know, he will still ring me up to check if I need anything. But meaning male role model, why it's important? It's just for the kids to look up on someone, feel like they are protected. You know, mother can protect and a father can protect in different ways. Yeah. So, you know, it's really important if father's duties or grandparents' duty could fulfill that for the kids' needs, and, you know, it just makes it easier, you know, in life.
Feel that a male role model is important?
I think it is important, especially for like if you're the son, because then you have like someone to look up to, and like it's not the same if it's just like you and your mum by yourself. Like you normally need like a dad to look after you and tell you like how to fight and just defend yourself and stuff. And like yeah, like Sophia said, like they can be there to like protect you as well. Yeah.
As a young lady, do you feel that a male role model is important?
Yeah, because like there's many inspirational people in my life, like my dad. He works hard, even the days he's ill, he still gets up every morning and goes to work. It inspires me to like work hard and just get up and do it. So I think male role models are important.